So a lot of people have been asking about the boards. I've been making a few of these boards. This is one of them. I'm making these boards because I'm having a show here this weekend. Everything's gonna be out here for people to come by and check out, including these boards, along with all the other art. I don't know why I'm gesturing so much. Anyway, so I have one more to do, and a lot of people are asking me, like, what's the process for the boards? Because they're unfamiliar with painting on such a weird, smooth surface. What do I do to make sure that I get this prepped well, and then paint well, and then, you know, finish well? If you're not familiar with what's going on, this weekend is the Long Beach Open Studio Tour. We're working to put things together for this show, and that's kind of why this video is the only video that you're gonna get this week, is because it's been a busy week. But maybe you don't care about that. If you don't live anywhere near me, you're not gonna come by. This is the finished board. I just got done varnishing it up. 2, maybe 3 coats of varnish, depending on what it is. Everything else, like you can see, there's a little bit of a paper collage in here, some elements from some of the other art pieces that I've made, torn pieces of paper, found items, and a bunch of spray paint, and some hand lettering. I'm gonna go put this one away so I don't ruin it. If you wanna see more of those, by the way, check the Instagram. First thing you need to do, you need to treat the surface with something. You can sand it, put some sort of topical primer on it if you want. I've done that. But I kind of like the natural wood look. I like some of that to come through. I'm using a simple matte fix, little spray adhesive, spray it on, let it set up, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a tooth so that the paint can stick to it. Now it's just a matter of putting some paint on. Let's start with black. I don't plan on covering the whole thing. I'm just gonna paint a little bit on there and then mess around a little bit. I like to use the bottom of the can as like a way to scrape some stuff off because it's a little bit inaccurate. It kind of creates an interesting texture. See what I mean? How about a little orange? Did I ever tell you I used to be a bartender? The tip I put on here is not my favorite tip. A little different than this one, 2 different brands. This one's a little bit more narrow. It's good for more detail. Not exactly what I wanted here. They swap out. That's better. Sometimes I let it drip and let it sit. I'm gonna use the little one again on the blue this time because I want just a little bit of a blue. Never said I was a good bartender. The wind has shifted a little bit, so I'm gonna move the camera in a different place just so I don't get a bunch of stuff here. While I wait, I'm gonna go do something real quick. I'll be right back. Got myself some typography that I'm gonna lay down on top. A little white marker that I'm gonna write something that I've had a thought in my head. And I brought a friend for these other guys. White, but the orange is dry, so let's add blue. I'm gonna put the typography on here. I'm just gonna use that same fixative, just kind of give it a temporary thing, because then soon I'm just gonna lay more stuff on top and more stuff on top, more stuff on top. Trying to be a little bit delicate while I do this because I don't want to push the paint around. Something that this tends to do is it tends to soften up the paint again, so gotta be gentle with it. Also trying to keep my fingers relatively clean because I don't want to put a bunch of paint on top of the stuff that I just laid down. Of course, I'll probably end up doing that anyway, but right now, I don't know, I just want to leave it as is. What I've added there, it's not gonna be perfect. Some of it's not gonna be perfectly laid down. That's totally okay. Sometimes I end up tearing things away just to kind of give it more of a gritty, edgy, torn. I forgot, we gotta add some stuff. I've had this phrase kicking around in my head for a few days, moving forward in reverse. It's in reference to a song, which I can't remember the name of the song off the top of my head. It's me going back to where I started with the work that I'm creating, and now moving forward. Paint's still a little bit too sticky for me to get this one on here, so I think we're gonna let it set for a bit and then come back. At this point, I would say that it's about 50, 60%, maybe a little further. It's hard to tell right now. I know that I wanna add more to it. I wanna bring in a little bit more of a contrast color than what we've got going on here. I'm not 100% sure what that is because everything I do is kind of intuitive. Like I just kind of put stuff out, then I work with what I've got, then add to that. I work with what I got, and then I add to that. I don't know why I'm so gestural today. I'm gonna take all this stuff and move it into this. So I'm looking at the board here and I'm noticing that the colors are cool. I dig these colors. I use these colors in my work a lot. However, it feels flat. There's not a whole lot of depth going on. I didn't want to go just add like a bunch of just arbitrary crap in this one. There's a thing that I've been doing in some of these smaller pieces that I have that I think might work well here. Hold on one second, I'll show you what I mean. So I have all these small pieces that I've done, and there's quite a few of them. There's almost like 80 or so of them. These in particular are what I'm talking about. This one is probably the best representation. Basically, it's like you see the bottom half here, which is all the chaos that I normally incorporate into my work, and then up here is this kind of, it's this different approach where I tape it off and then I just paint over it and then add this organic element because I want to kind of create this juxtaposition between the organic and, if you want to call this inorganic, the calm and the chaos. You can see it there, and then this one's one of my favorites right there, and then this, and then this, and then this, and this, and there's more. What I'm thinking is that I create a pattern here in the same way. Tape this off, paint this side of the board, and I'm gonna add an organic element using paint pens or whatever here. I'm not gonna take you outside to paint this one. I'm just gonna go do it myself. So I'll be right back. Okay, all painted and shock blue. I don't even know what color this is. It's blue. It's very, very blue. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave that tape on there. I'm gonna take this big fat white paint marker and I'm gonna draw an organic graphic. I'm leaving the paint on because I kind of want it to bleed over, as if what it appears is that the chaos landing on top of the organic aspect, or vice versa, however you want to look at it. Not the greatest overhead shot, but deal with it. We're gonna take this one left field. Just realized I had that lens super close. I hope you got the gist, but this is what we're looking at. Ready? I freaking love it. That is the final, well, almost final. I still have to put the varnish on top, so I'm gonna let this kind of set up for just a second, and then I'm gonna give it at least 2 coats of varnish, and then it will be available for purchase this Saturday, Sunday at the event, and then afterwards on my website, if it doesn't sell by that time. In fact, I hope you wish me that they all sell. Everything sells out, because then I get a chance to make more. But on that note, I'm gonna get going because I got a ton of stuff left to do for this show. I really appreciate you hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this. This is not going to be the typical content for what I'm gonna be sharing, but this is what I've been doing this week, so I figured, well, I might as well share something. Starting next week, I'm probably gonna be putting out 2 videos a week, because what I'm trying to do is kind of boost up the amount of hours played so that I can get into that monetization area that's so crucial to a YouTuber. So if you can help me by, starting by watching that video and then watching everything else that I've made, and watch them all and then watch them 2 times and then share them with your friends and tell them to watch everything, that would be great. Thanks very much. Hey, on the way out, make sure you hit the like button, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate you.